Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well this evening. Today, we have got a little hate watch update. No, jokes aside, we have got a little update regarding, of course, ex-Spurs manager and Europa League winning manager, Ange Postecoglou, who caused many people ups and downs, I'd say. And the antics again with that man, Marinakis. He's back in our he's back on our streams. He's back in the limelight. And as you guys would have seen, Ange Postecoglou has joined Nottingham Forest as their new head coach after unbelievably sacking Nuno Espirito Santo, which is an unbelievable decision in itself. But of course, this is Spurs related. We're not going to just talk about Nottingham Forest. We've got an action-packed stream for you guys, including everything to do with Ange Postecoglou and joining Forest, how we feel about it, but also the fact there's now apparently a deadline on official bids to do with buying Tottenham Hotspur. We're just talking about that. We're also going to be talking about potentially that man in the thumbnail, Harry Kane, Spurs legend. Could he be on his way out of Bayern Munich next season? Could he be coming back to the Premier League? And could he be coming back to Tottenham Hotspur? Plus, we look ahead to the West Ham United Premier League match. Finally, the Premier League is back on Saturday. So we'll be doing a little analysis and preview on that. And if you guys are FIFA football fans, the video game, apparently there's been some ratings. Frank's been telling me ratings released to do with the players. So we'll do a couple minutes on that as well. But guys, you know the drill. As always, please make sure you're doing those three magical things. That is smashing that like button, turning on the notification bell if you are new to the streams, and of course, subscribing if you are new. We are pretty close to 5,000 subscribers now. I believe 600 or so off. So please make sure you're doing those three magic things. But Frank, how are you doing, my Thomas Frank AI son friend?
I'm all good. I'm looking forward now to the football being back. Do England play again tonight? I don't know.
They do.
They do. Yeah. It shows how out of the loop. I'm very uninterested in the international football, so I'm very glad.
Yeah.
Very glad that it's coming back. I've staggeringly missed Tottenham, which is quite incredible. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. Yeah, hopefully getting back on track after the Bournemouth game.
100%, mate. Yeah, England are back tonight against Serbia on our screens, 7:45 in about an hour and a half's time. Against Serbia away. So that's actually a tough game. So we'll see how they get on. But guys, hope you're all doing well. Simon's in the house saying, "Hi boys, Forest 17th and win UEFA Cup. Could happen, mate. Could happen. Or maybe he'll get them relegated and they'll get a second season bounce in the Championship. Get him the trophy. Good evening, chap, says Logan. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Who else have we got in the house? We've got ourselves. And that's because I was late, as always. So Frank was ready to go at 6, to be fair to him. I wasn't. So, yeah, you can blame me on that one. And as Logan's saying, smash the likes. Logan's also saying, I would also like to add, I hope Forest get relegated. Stuff them. Lol. Absolutely love it, mate. And guys, as I said, make sure you're hitting the like button. Let's get straight into things, Frank. Let's talk about that added piece yesterday that we missed out on, which is to do with, well, apparently there being if there's interested parties, they have until the October the 5th to make formal bids. But PCP is expected to withdraw, and Spurs are valued up to £4 billion, according to Sky Cafe. And then Tottenham say majority owner ENIC has rejected takeover interest from Amanda Staveley, as we mentioned yesterday, and a Roger Kennedy wing fight consortium insisting the club is not for sale, as we heard from that Vinai interview yesterday, mate. So what do you make of this? Do you believe that there's an official deadline for any bids that come in? Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, usually when these sort of things happen, there tends to be these deadlines so they can actually assess who's serious and who's not. So I would suspect, yeah, probably that this is the case. I mean, it's things like this that made me, obviously they keep coming out saying, oh, that they're not selling it, it's not happening. I think it's going to. I think it's probably quietly going on. I mean, you could argue, when was the last time someone was sold and the media didn't know? But I think that's probably coming. I think that noise is probably coming. I think we're we're a little way away from that, but I don't think it's far. Obviously, that noise has started. I know they're shutting it down early, but my hunch is that Spurs will be very close, if not probably sold by Christmas time. Just because I don't see a world where this doesn't sort of speed up now. Everything sort of seems to be moving. Levy's gone. Charrington's there, but we spoke about him, sort of laughed about it yesterday. He's not really got a proper role, and there's a lot that's going on. I'm a bit like, what is actually going on? So I think there was a comment yesterday, I can't remember who put it, but there was a comment yesterday about how they think that the logical thing will probably be Levy's shares will go to them first, and then, as I kind of said, that they will then build up and progressively over time gain more of a share to eventually be majority shareholders in the club. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting sort of next month. I imagine there'll be quite limited noise until then, and then I imagine once we sort of hit around the start of October, that noise will build. And because I would be very, very, very staggered if we come October the 5th and there's no one that wants to be serious about an offer with Tottenham.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Guys, let us know what you're thinking in the chat. If you're watching offline, I know a lot of you guys watch these episodes offline. Always love reading the comments. And as you've noticed, I reply to every single comment. So let us know what you think on these official bids. Do you think, as Frank's saying, do you think we'll have a bid by October, Christmas time? Do you think Tottenham will be sold by Christmas time, as Frank was saying there? Let us know. And some very interesting comments from you guys offline. Like, anyone that is selling a product doesn't always say, or a business doesn't say it's for sale, because it's harder to sell a business. Well, it's easier to sell a business if you say it's for sale, and the bids are much lower. If you say it's not for sale, suddenly you get a bidding war and people trying to, outdo that sort of outlook on it. So it very much does make sense. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. And just to summarize on that, interested parties have until apparently October the 5th. So we will see what happens with that. Logan saying, I saw something earlier, not sure if it's true, but NFL investors are looking at the club. I think everyone's looking at the club. Listen, let's be honest, like Daniel Levy, as much as you can say whatever you want about him, he did create a monster in the fact that we have this insane stadium, as Vinai is saying, insane training ground, this media outlet that's new at the training center now. All of these things. We have the NFL at the stadium, the concerts, the F1, the Skywalk. We've probably forgotten a couple of things there. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So, we have built an empire. It is very attractive for investors because at the end of the day, £4 billion is a hell of a lot of money. But let's not forget that over time, prices go up, interest rates go up. That 4 billion may look small in 10 years. It sounds stupid, but the way football's going and the way the Spurs empire has been built, it could be very small. Louis Schweetz, big up yourself. He says, hello, new Spurs fan here from PH. I'm guessing you mean, I want to say Philippines, or it could be Philadelphia. So let me know which one it is. I could have got it both wrong, but make sure, mate, you stick with the Tottenham. It is a rough ride. I've got to be honest with you. It sends us all loopy, but we wouldn't have it any other way, would we, Frank? We wouldn't have it any other way. Make sure you're smashing the subscribe and the noties on, guys, including yourself. And Philippines, I thought I was right. Come on, you Spurs. Exactly. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're turning on those notification bells and hitting like, guys. There's only 7 likes on the stream. What are we doing? No, but the numbers will grow. I know they'll grow. What was I saying? So let's move on. Let's talk. We talked a lot about investment and a lot about Spurs getting sold yesterday. So we are going to move the talking point to more about what we're going to talk about today, which is of course Ange Postecoglou being announced as Nottingham Forest head coach. And by the way, Nuno only got announced that he was leaving this morning. So this has clearly been in the works for a while. I mean, there's no secret that Marinakis, the Nottingham Forest chairman, and Ange Postecoglou go back a long way. They're good friends. We know that. The Greek sort of heritage there is clearly a factor. And I just think, mate, Frank is nuts. Nuno has sent them from a relegation battling side to a side that's got into the Europa League. Mate, where do we even start on this? Why? There's clearly been an argument between Marinakis and Nuno Espirito Santo They clearly didn't see eye to eye at the end. Something happened. Empty threats were made. And then suddenly, bang. It's not even like they've started bad. I think they got 6 points in their first 4 games. And so it's like, what on earth are they thinking? And Ange Postecoglou football with that Forest team, we saw what he did with Tottenham, mate. He got us 22 Premier League losses last season. Yes, put him down as a Spurs legend. He won us Europa League. My best memory as a Spurs fan so far. But I have to say, I'm hate watching Nottingham Forest this year anyway. I'll say it live on screen. Don't care. Forest do my head in. Their owner does my head in. I think they're an absolutely. I feel for their fans. That whole Morgan Gibbs White thing was just an absolute Mickey take. Without me going off on one, Frank, what on earth are they doing?
I want to preface everything I say now with the fact that I love Ange, and I will always love Ange for Bilbao, right? But as you said, I was going to say a joke. That's a real wrong word. But the league form last year was abysmally bad. And so but people remember him for the right reasons, which is great, and that's how I remember him. Having said that, it feels like a very strange hire. First and foremost, I mean, it goes all the way back with Marinakis to when they played Leicester at the back end of last year, and they drew 2-2 after I think they were 2-0 up at half time, and they drew 2-2, and he stormed on the pitch, and he started shouting at Nuno, and then they played it off as if he was going on the pitch to see how Taiwo Awoniyi was after he got quite badly injured. Obviously, that wasn't true, and sort of since the arguments, and obviously Mr. Marinakis is he's obviously a character. That's probably the best way of putting him. But I think this was something that was always going to happen. I mean, I saw a photo today on Twitter of Steve Cooper and Ange both at the same time in one of Mr. Marinakis' villas in wherever it was. Might have been in Greece or something. And it kind of showed that they're obviously in this little network, and so he obviously got on with Steve Cooper. He fired him rightly or wrongly. He got on with him enough that, as much as he got on with Ange. And so I don't feel for Nuno, actually. I put on Twitter earlier on, I don't feel for Nuno, weirdly at all.
Why?
Because he's escaped Marinakis. He's probably got a big payout. His stock is still high. It's not like he's escaped him for being awful. He's escaped him because his stock's still high. And so he's probably going to get another good job somewhere. And he's managed to get away from Marinakis. I mean, if anything, I think he's come out of this the winner. which is quite incredible considering he's been fired. And as I say, he'll go
he's
and
left
get
on a high. He's left on a high.
Exactly.
Would you call him a Nottingham Forest legendary manager?
I mean, maybe not a legend given some of the managers they've had in Brian Clough, whatever. But he's certainly a figure that they will look at there and go, he had a good time there. He had a good time at Forest, and they will look at him, I'm sure, with love, Forest fans. And he does a great job at teams of that level, right? He did it with Wolves, did it with them. Wouldn't shock me if he ended up at West Ham or whoever. He'll bounce around clubs like that, and he'll do a good job. And so he might even go back to Wolves. That wouldn't surprise me if they sort of continue on a bad run of form. I quite like their manager, but so I feel when I don't feel for him, because I think he's actually come out of this okay, and he'll be fine. And I find it very odd that he wanted to go there. I get obviously the Marinakis link, but I just don't. And I mean, maybe some of the signings they made in the summer were down to they knew Ange was coming in. I mean, James McAtee was one we were linked to a lot. Nuno didn't apparently approve of him, and then all of a sudden he joins him, and Ange joins him 3 weeks later. I mean, maybe that was one that he wanted. But yeah, it's a shame because, again, another tweet I put earlier on that I think I'm going to have to love watch Ange and hate watch Forest. And I think that's kind of how it's going to have to be for the season. I'll love every press conference he does and every interview and every quote and story. But yeah, but then also, I don't see a world where this is going to be that successful. We won the Europa League as much as I love Ange because we had a good squad and we had a squad that was capable. Like you could, and I know we had a lot of injuries and whatever, but you had Christian Romero as a World Cup winner. You had top players. I think we're now going to realise the real level of players like Murillo and Milenkovic, who we think are great players, and I think are good players and good defenders. But if people think they're the best defender, it's funny how the media will react to this and take to this, I think, because there was such a denial about how the quality of Van der Ven and Romero last season, because we played this high line, but it was, they were just bad defenders. It will be interesting to see now if this will get blamed on Ange or if it will get blamed on Murillo and Rankovic like it did with R2. But I think they're going to concede a boatload of goals. I hope that they go to the Emirates and win somehow at the weekend. After that, I fear for them.
I forgot they're playing. Arsenal at the weekend. So that'll be his first match. Mate, we can't watch Forest this weekend then, surely. Oh, amazing. Right, I'm just gonna catch up on chat, guys. The numbers are rising. Big up yourselves. Really appreciate everyone joining. Lots of nice comments already tonight. Let's have a look. So Robert Reading's in the house saying this is hilarious. Every club worked out how to beat Ange's Spurs. Ange's first is going to be cannon fodder by Christmas. He's going to be out by Christmas, says Robert. We'll see, mate. We'll see. Jake Evans, he says, you can tell from the style of players that Forest signed in the window that they weren't planning for Nuno. I just think this Marinakis guy, he can't swallow his pride. He has to be the main character. I mean, have you ever seen a chairman have an interview with a player on a training field about a new contract? Absolutely not. I mean,
it's insane. Nuts. I do think, sorry about that comment as well, is it will be quite interesting as well as much as I think the defensive side of it concerns me with what they have. And I'm not like praising Forest here, but they have some quite interesting wingers that might actually suit what he wants to do. Hudson-Odoi is a touchline winger. They've got Bakwa. They've got obviously lost Elanga. They've got Dan and Doy as well. And there's one other I can't think of off the top of my head. But they've got some quite interesting players, just as a sort of side point. That obviously James McAtee is one that I think he'll quite like as well. That could end up being quite good players under him. Actually, it might be quite interesting. But defensively, I think they're going to be a shambles.
Absolutely. Who's going to be his Brennan Johnson that just gets the goals where you're least expecting?
Sorry, for anyone that plays fantasy football, this is what you've got to study now. You've got to find the one that's going to be the back post tapping one who's going to score 10 in the next 10 games.
Dan and Doy, maybe. Dan and Doy. Yeah. Jake, yeah, so great comment there. Simon saying Levy should sit in the south stand. Someone was asking where's Levy going to be sitting at the home games? Put him in the south stand with the Spurs faithful. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't do well there. That's putting it lightly. Marinakis has to be the most hated owner in the Prem. I think now for sure. Brandon Wallace is saying, have you watched the Newcastle documentary? How would you feel about Amanda Staveley being part of the ownership group? Frank, I'm going to let you take this one.
I've seen the majority of it a while ago, but I've seen the majority of it. I mean, listen, she's a broker, she's a trader, and so yeah, I mean, she will run kind of what goes on, I guess. What I quite like about her actually, and this is something that maybe we don't think about as much, but given that she is English, as the equivalent as if she was, I think a lot of the Europeans or Americans as well, and that's obviously growing over there, but they have a real interest in football in those nations. And so whilst she might not really care about football, I think she'll also, on the flip side, have an understanding of what it means to people. And that is quite important, I think. Whereas sometimes I look at these guys, and we've seen it with certain clubs where they've got guys who have no idea what it means to be a football fan. I think to an extent, Levy probably did. I just think he was probably, his mind was probably swayed by financial sort of motives. But I think, and that's only a little point, but it is quite an interesting one to sort of think about. That I do wonder if her actually having that knowledge of what it means to, and being at Newcastle and seeing that sort of what it can do to a community and things is quite interesting. So I think, as I say, she's a trader, she's a broker, she will bring things together. I'm not sure how much she will do other than that, but I'm certainly not against the idea.
Sure, makes sense. Somehow we've got back onto the Seller Tottenham subject. We can't get away from it, Frank. A good comment there, Brandon. Archer, one of our members, is in the house saying maybe Ange thinks he can win the Europa again and get Champions League. Maybe Ange thinks he can get 17th again and win a trophy. That's what I'd say. But big up, Archer. Jake Evans with a great comment here saying, make sure you're hitting the like button and subbing for the lads. Appreciate your efforts. Appreciate you tuning in, Jake. And yeah, guys, make sure you are hitting that like button. Make sure you are turning on those notification bells. It's all down below. It's all free to do so. It's free of charge, guys. And subscribe if you are new. We're on the march to 5,000 subscribers now. So really appreciating all of the support. And guys, if you do want to support any way, shape or form, there is the membership option down below. There's a join button. There is also a join button link in the description below. £2 a month to join. You can come on here, have your say, and you get priority in the chat like Archer just did there. And of course, also there is the super chat option if you want to create a talking point. But who else we got in the chat? Lots of comments going in. Rest in peace, Forest is Luke. Joseph McBride, the man himself in America, saying, "Hi lads, December 13th and March 21st, the Prem games against Forest going to be very interesting." Absolutely, feels like another derby. Yeah, Arsenal, you got Chelsea, you got West Ham, and now you just got Forest as well in there. But big up, a baptism of fire for Ange away at Woolwich. I may have to take Milenkovic out of my fantasy team, says Archer. I mean, Milenkovic in a high line is going to be interesting. I can tell you that for free. I've seen a lot of funny memes on Twitter today. It's been good fun. Minch is in here. Big up, Minch. Hope you're doing well, mate. Always in here on the transfer streams. Says Ange won't get sacked until season 3. Yeah, fair point. They signed a few players from the same team. Botafogo. Isn't that part of their group as well, though? The Botafogo thing. It's all a bit dodgy.
It's a bit dodgy, yeah.
Luke's saying, can they buy back Brennan Johnson? And Colin's in here. Big up Colin all the way from Wales. He's saying Ange, in my opinion, is one of the worst we have had tactically lost. Not an Ange fan then, Colin. Not an Ange fan. Listen, Ange fan or not, he got us the Europa League. That's all that matters. But we can hate watch Forest. I don't even care. Frank said we can love watch Ange. So I just want Forest out of this Premier League, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. A lot of hamstring injuries incoming. But guys, keep your comments coming in, keep your likes coming in, keep your subscriptions coming in. But we're going to move subject now because I think this one will be a fun one to talk about. The comment section's about to explode, Frank. We talked about Ange. You think that's going to blow up the comments? How about this one? Harry Kane, could he potentially come back to Tottenham Hotspur in 2026? Well, according to some reports this week, a German journalist who I've already forgotten the name of, so it's like it's not Ornstein, but it's like Hornigstein. It's like David Ornstein from Germany. But basically, he said that Brian braced for the possibility that Harry Kane could leave in 2026 next summer. Jackson is there to be the backup and maybe his eventual successor. Sorry, can we just pause the tape a second? Nicholas Jackson to replace Harry Kane. I mean, I've seen some interesting things in my time, but that is up there. But yes, he has discussed the future of Harry Kane. It goes on to say that despite his success in Germany, there's strong reports that suggest Kane harbours a desire to return to England following the 2026 World Cup. Central to transfer rumours is a clause in Kane's buying contract set to activate in 2026, reportedly allowing him to leave for a fee of around 65 million euros, which is the equivalent of 56 million pounds. And his contract is running... Sorry, I can't actually see that. His contract running until 2027. Next summer represents Bayern's last realistic chance to recoup a transfer fee before he could leave on a free. I mean, there's a lot to digest here. The only thing I would like to mention on top of that is, of course, Harry Kane is on 213, I think, Premier League goals. The record from Shearer is 260. Harry Kane is going to be 33 soon, okay? So, I mean, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo still banging in goals. Yes, it's in the Saudi league, but he's doing it at national level as well. Realistically, on average, most players retire between the age of 36 and 38 these days, maybe a little bit later with sports science developing. He's realistically, even if he moved next summer, got 3 seasons, maybe 4 to get that record. And I think he definitely wants to do it. I think this is a pivotal piece in this. Whether he's happy at Bayern Munich, I don't think it's going to matter. I think he genuinely wants to come to the Premier League, and I think he wants to be known as the greatest ever Premier League goal scorer. Would you agree, Frank? Do you think he could come to Tottenham, or do you think he could go to a Man City? Will we get that rumor again? Man United, Liverpool? What do you think?
I think City, no, because of Haaland. I think United, obviously, it'll be next summer if something happens, I think. So maybe you could argue they've just signed Sesko, and so if they're looking to replace him after a year after signing for 75 million, there's a problem. He wouldn't go to Arsenal, he wouldn't go to Chelsea. Liverpool, I think, is unlikely because they've obviously just signed Isak and Ekatike as well. So I think if he comes back here, then we're probably the clear option. unless he went to Newcastle, or they just signed Walter Miley. So I think that's probably unlikely. To be honest, probably going to upset a number of people. I'm not convinced by the idea just yet. I imagine if it got close, I'd be quite excited. But I don't know. There's a few things that do excite me, and I do like the idea of. Mason Melia comes in, I think it's January from the Irish League, and he looks quite exciting. He looks quite similar to Kane. And I kind of thought this would happen, that a generation of strikers would come through and be Harry Kane, basically, and be that sort of striker. And I think if you had him in that team or in the squad and working with Kane, I mean, you could see a real talent. He obviously looks like a good player in Ireland, but you could see him really develop well. I mean, there's kind of the comment there about, it wouldn't shock me if he went to Barcelona. It's a sensational profile picture, by the way.
I was going to say, what is that? What is that?
Vicario. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if he went to Barcelona and replaced Lewandowski. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know where his family are living now. I know for a little while they stayed at home, stayed in England. I don't know if that's still the case today. I'm not sure. But listen, of course it'd be exciting because it'd be great, and it's him. And he's never someone that's relied on pace. So he could certainly play to these older. And as you say, I mean, we're not talking about, elderly people here. They're professional athletes. Being 30 nowadays is the equivalent of being 26, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, because the science has moved on. So being 33, wherever he'll be next summer, he's sort of the equivalent of 30 odd, as we say. So he can certainly contribute. As I say, he didn't rely on pace, so he could certainly be a good player for Tottenham still. But some of the things some of the ways in which he's spoken about Tottenham since he's left, and some of I think we'll get onto it, and some of the sort of little bits here and there, and I don't know. I'm just, as much as I love him, I'm also of the opinion, on the flip side, that maybe we've moved on. We never got Poch back, or we never got Dele back, or do you know what I mean? None of these guys ever maybe. And I know dreaming is free, and that's why we do it, right? But maybe it is just time to move on and say, well, the next cab off the rank is going to come in, and I suspect next summer that Kolo, Muani, and Richarlison might not be here going into the start of next season. Unless Kolo, Muani is incredible, but maybe they'll look at those two. As it stands, I don't think Muani's only on a short loan, and Richarlison I think will go. Maybe Solanke would too. So maybe there's an open opportunity there, but I think you still need. They will go for a young one next year, I imagine, who's going to come in and do contribute now, but contribute in the future as well. So my money is that Kane probably isn't on their wish list just yet. But if an opportunity arose, it might be like what happened with Ronaldo when he went back to United. That if City want him all of a sudden, if Arsenal or Chelsea were sniffing around, then they might go and pick him off. But at the moment, I would suggest probably not.
I'll be honest, man. I think you're downplaying it. I think if Harry Kane gets linked with Tottenham, I'm going to lose my mind. I'll be honest. He's one of my favourite ever players. He's still class, Frank. Like, I know we're talking about the age. I know we're talking about the age and 33 and how you're saying like that's equivalent to 30. I agree. I think he's in his prime now. I think he's genuinely like the best striker in world football still. I won't hear otherwise. I think Haaland, he's great, but he's pretty much a one-trick pony. Harry Kane's got everything. He's got passing, he's got shooting, he's got heading, he's got dribbling, he's got an insane football brain tactically. He just knows where to be at the right times. Later into his career, you could easily see him dropping into almost the 10. A bit like Wayne Rooney did when he started playing at the end for Man United and Everton. I think Harry Kane is a generational football player, and if we got linked with him next summer, or we started to get murmurs here, but if he was coming back to the Premier League, I think it would absolutely kill me if he went elsewhere other than Spurs. And I think that would just unite the fan base even more than ever. If we had him for the ages of 34, 35, and 36, happy days. I do agree. Two more seasons of Harry Kane. Imagine he came here, broke the record, 20 goals a season for 2.5 seasons, bang, done. Wins a trophy with us. Like, I'm getting carried away now. Like you said, dreaming is free. But Kane lifts the World Cup, then returns to Spurs. It'd be perfect. And then come win the Premier League or the Champions League with him. James Grindon, we love looking at profile pictures. I'm going to pretend I know what that painting is. I was going to say it was the Mona Lisa, but that's probably one of the most stupid things I could say. He's saying I don't want him back. Why? Guys, I'm going to do a poll, actually. There's like nearly 100 of you watching. I'm going to do a poll because I'm interested to see why those that don't want him back don't want him back. And I think the vast majority wouldn't say no. I mean, I think, James, let me know why it is you'd say no. Like, Frank, I'm trying to think of a reason why you'd say no to Harry Kane joining Spurs.
I mean,
I don't quite get it.
To be honest, I probably sounded a little bit negative thinking about what I just said. I would 100% take Kane back next summer, right? By the way, I want to make that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think they probably need to be looking at a young one as well. But I would happily take Kane back.
Yeah, but do you not think we've done enough for the buying of like Matthias Tell, Edabert? You know,
I mean, like a 23-year-old that's going to contribute a lot now, but also for the next 5, 6. A bit like Xavi Simons, that sort of buyer.
But who's 23 and a striker that's going to do as good a job as a Harry Kane?
I mean, listen, that they are paid to do that as a job and scout people. So I'm hoping that with their extensive knowledge, there's the guy at Porto who's obviously quite highly regarded.
The young Portuguese kid, Mora or something.
I'm a big fan of Evan Ferguson. I know he didn't do well at West Ham and he tailed off Brighton. But he's starting well in Italy. I think if he has a good year in Italy, then if you went and picked him and Kane off together, I mean, that could be a sensational summer next year. But listen, Kane, I think if Thomas Frank wants him and he's very up for it and everyone's up for it, then I would in no way turn down the idea. If Thomas Frank actually goes, I don't want him because he doesn't, I don't think he contributes to what I'm doing, then I'm with Thomas Frank. But if Thomas Frank says, which listen, we're talking about a guy who's elite, right? Why would you not want an elite player? If Thomas Frank says, I actually don't really want him, I want, Omarodion from Porto or whoever, then I would rather go with what he wants because I trust his judgment in this personally. But that's not to say I wouldn't want him. I would happily have him back in a heartbeat.
I get it. I get listening to the manager. I completely hear what you're saying. I just think for me, there's still not a better striker in world football than Harry Kane. Like, look at his record. I mean, I could bring it up on screen. It's just ridiculous. I am biased towards Harry Kane, but like I think the closest striker I can compare him to in the last 15 years, maybe 10, 15 years is Luis Suarez peak at Barcelona. That guy was incredible football brain. Benzema obviously reached pretty amazing heights at Real Madrid, but strikers, really world-class strikers, are hard to come by, and I don't think we should be turning our nose up at Harry Kane because of his age or because he's coming back and he went on a little bit of sour terms. Like, there was this comparison between Heung-min Son and Harry Kane and how Sonny's such a bigger legend. I agree, but to be honest with you, for me, Harry Kane is still Tottenham, and I'd absolutely love him back in a Tottenham shirt. I've done a poll, guys, over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I put, would you take Harry Kane back to Spurs? 71% of you so far are saying yes. 29% are saying no. If you've put no, could you please put in the comments live now or offline why you wouldn't take Harry Kane back? Because I am interested to know the reasons behind that. Kane will be a top player for another 4 years, says Michael. Cavani, Lewandowski, Ibra type, who's never relied on pace. Exactly, Ibrahimovic, just world-class player.
I just can't believe I've never seen that picture of Vicario before. It's really taken me by. Actually, it's brilliant. I can't believe I've not seen that photo. Absolutely. Guys, please, we're still live for another 15 or so minutes. Please do me those 3 massive favors as we go into the next segment of the stream. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Down below, there's 80, 90 of you on YouTube. There's like 60 of you watching live on Twitter as well. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, please make sure you come over to the YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/@SpursRelated. You can find us by just searching SpursRelated on YouTube. Come and subscribe to us down below. You can join the live chat with the likes of everyone in the chat, putting their opinions in. And of course, please turn on the notification bell down below. All three are free to do so. Like, subscribe, and noties on. And as I said before, if you do want to contribute anyway, there is the super chat option down below. People have been very, very kind recently and putting in a lot of super chats, and also a membership option where the perk, like Archer's got here, that little button there, the join button is down below, and you can come on these streams with Frank and I regularly, have your say. So after games, if you want to get something off your chest,
£2 a month. You can come and rage on the internet with us. It's absolutely fun to do so, and you get priority in the chat. But what else? Wales v Canada tonight, boys. Remember his name, Dylan Lawler. He is Dean Hyson. What a prospect. What does he mean by he is Dean Hyson? As in he's like that player, or?
Yeah, I imagine so. He's the young Cardiff kid, I think.
Right. We'll keep an eye on him.
He's very highly rated.
Good luck against Jonathan David. He's an absolute monster, by the way. Very underrated player. Minch has said, by the way, calling it now. Clip me up, Colin. Jonathan David will score in that game. Minch is saying Kane has to break the all-time Prem record with Spurs. We owe it to him. Come on, the dream. I mean, honestly, I need to check this again. 25% of you have said you wouldn't take Harry Kane back. I just need to know what you're eating and drinking tonight. It's absolutely nuts. But anyway, the last bit on the Kane thing, maybe this is the reason why you wouldn't take him. So I found this interview online, and he basically was getting asked about the Daniel Levy departure. And part of that was him saying that I know a lot can change in football in a short space of time and things can happen, but ultimately my focus here is here in Bayern Munich. I'm not thinking about any other league or any other team. And with football, I like to go with the flow at the moment. The flow is here at Bayern Munich, he said. I think you're just playing in the biggest games every season, year after year. I think that puts you on that stage. And then this is the thing that got me a little bit, frankly. Let me know if I'm reading too much into it. He says, I had moments at Spurs where we had that. We had some really great years where we were challenging for titles and were in the final of the Champions League. So I had those moments at Spurs, but not on a consistent basis. It wasn't year after year. Now, while a lot of that is true, of course, we weren't in the Champions League every year. We weren't challenging for trophies every year. Is that really necessary to mention that when... Is he shutting the door a little bit there, or are we looking too much into that? What do you think? Because there has been other things he said in recent times where you think, hang on a minute, Harry, like we love you over here. Don't like say stuff to upset the fans here. I mean, maybe there's a lot of truth in that. Of course, we aren't challenging every single year. We had some absolutely terrible times where we weren't in the Champions League. We were finishing 8th, 9th, and that's fair enough. But everyone knows about Harry Kane. He's on the world stage playing for England in the Euros and the World Cup. He's playing for Tottenham. When he was playing for Tottenham, he's still on the world stage. Like, do you really need to be going to Bayern Munich just to get that sort of validation of winning the Bundesliga? For me, cool, he's got the Bundesliga now. Now move on. That's how I feel about it anyway.
I mean, I guess it goes both ways. The fact that he went there could be because he didn't want to go anywhere else, like English clubs that would maybe compete with Tottenham more often. So you could argue that. But on the flip side, I kind of agree. And I mean, I don't know. I find it an odd quote. And it's rich coming from someone, with all due respect, that didn't ever score in a cup final for Tottenham. And that's not in any way, shade on his name or
is that Dick back, Frank?
Well, I mean, it's not in any way disrespect, but it's true. It's a rich comment from someone that when we did compete and we gave him that platform, he didn't perform. So, listen, I mean, that's my one kind of thing with it. That, I mean, there was another interview about 6 months ago he did with ProDirect or whoever, and they asked him his 10 favourite career goals, and he didn't say one from Tottenham. Like, I don't know if this is just some sort of ploy to just wind people up or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I would obviously love him back. I would obviously take him back because he's one of my favourites ever, and he's a hero of mine. But on the flip side, I'm a little bit like, it has felt since he's joined Bayern Munich, some of the comments he's made are a bit like quieting down.
But I think Joe made a good point in the comments there. Do you not think a lot of that is to do with the Daniel Levy sort of relationship there? Because clearly, I remember watching Sky Sports News when he got interviewed for Bayern Munich the first time in 2023, and he did a little dig at Daniel Levy because they were asking him why was the transfer to Bayern so complicated, and he basically said he mentioned Daniel Levy and how he is a tough operator and a negotiator, and he kind of laughed it off. And so there was clearly a big problem between Daniel Levy and Harry Kane's camp during that transfer. And you think to yourself, maybe now that Daniel Levy's gone, that sort of blocker it has been eradicated, and therefore there is an option for Kane to come back. I mean, listen, it's food for thought. It's interesting. It's certainly something that hopefully will heat up towards January and maybe into the summer if it does happen. I'm going to catch up on chat. DFST's in the chat as always. Big up yourself. He says, not 100% on Kane back. He'd want to play every game other than stat panning for England, not played well, and plays in a superpower in Germany. Would he score 20 to 25 Premier League goals? Yes, he absolutely would. I can categorically confirm that he will. All you need to do is get up his stats from the last 10 years of playing, and he's scored 20
still would?
everywhere
Do you
he's
think he still would at 34, though? 34, 35.
Mate, Lewandowski scores 25 goals every season. He's 40 or 37
in the Premier League, though.
Come on, mate. You really don't think that Harry Kane would score 20 Premier League goals?
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm posing the question.
I think you guys, and like maybe it's not going to be a 30 goal season. He get 20 goals. In a minute, I'm going to bring up his stats, and you cannot tell me he's going to fall off that much because he's 34 or 33. I don't buy it. I don't. And don't forget how many assists he gets as well. Probably more than ever. Like he's just made.
I do agree with that.
Good. Harry Kane's so good. Joe saying he's still the best striker in the world unless he has a significant drop off at some point. You'd be mad not to sign him for 1 or 2 years. And he's saying he could see him chasing Shearer's record, then heading to somewhere like LA Galaxy. And at the exact same time, Archer put that you could see him going to LAFC. So one of the two to link back up with Son. Colin's saying good football knowledge, Frank, about outside of the Prem to do with Hoysen. Is it Hoysen? Because I don't know. Is it
Hoysen? Yeah.
Brilliant. I didn't know if I was just relaying the Hoysen source and just getting it completely wrong. Chris Stone saying, yeah, I feel like he's done what he needed at Bayern Munich. Now come back and get the goal scoring record. Archer or go straight into the NFL. JT, 1992, get the badge in, my friend. He's saying, I don't even know why I said that. He's saying I'd sign him for a short 1 to 2 contract, but really want to move on. Amazing goal scorer, but has to be the most dull person to ever play for Spurs. This has got to be a wind-up. Lane moved to go to Bayern to win the Bundesliga. I agree with the last bit. You can't say he's dull. Come on, man. What? Harry Kane's dull. I've heard it all now. I'd much rather splurge on another top youngster who's eager to prove himself. Appreciate Spurs, assuming there is that element like he did bin us off to get his trophy. But I mean, come on, like he's absolutely world class. Like I think he's the best striker in the world. Let me know if you agree. It's in fact a little engagement piece for the 100 watching. Number 1 in the chat if you think Harry Kane is the best striker in the world currently. And number 2 if you don't think he is. And if you put number 2 that you don't think he is, write who you think is the best striker in the world. But Matthew saying Forest fans are calling us a small club now. Yeah, Forest, I mean, they're going to get the biggest hate watch of their life. Scott Spur, I love that name. He's saying people are being snide. He's both club trained and world class. He got screwed by Levy, to be honest. So maybe let's fear speaking what most of us would admit about our club. Colin's saying the older you get, the smarter you get. Kane would easily get 20. And Joe, Logan, and Jason Billy has put 1 for Kane being the best striker in the world. Absolutely agree with you. The other point on this is, again, excuse my terrible screenshotting skills, but Harry Kane saying he didn't see the Daniel Levy departure coming. He hailed him as a fantastic chairman. And there was obviously some tensions over the saga to do with his transfer, both to Man City and Bayern Munich. The England captain still had warm words for Levy, having had his career cross over with some of the chairman's most high-profile years at Spurs. He said, obviously, it was a bit of a surprise, if I'm honest. I didn't expect it and didn't see that coming. Daniel has been a fantastic chairman for Tottenham in the last 20 or so years. He's been there considering where the club was and where it is now. I think there's been a big change, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. And he also goes on to say that at any stage, there's always going to be change in clubs and change in the higher positions. So, you know, not too. I mean, he's not going to come out and absolutely ridicule Levy, is he? But interesting that he's been asked about it. Real Tummy and Chris are also saying that Kane's the best striker in the world. And Michael's saying, didn't Levy refuse him to come back to the training ground to say his goodbyes? Yeah, that's the bit I'm saying he left on sour terms, and therefore with Levy leaving, that potentially, you know, gets rid of that hurdle. So I think actually the Levy out news is probably good news for the Kane thing. I mean, maybe we're getting carried away here. Maybe he's never ever coming back, but you know, it's worth considering, isn't it, Frank? It's worth considering. Frank, any concluding thoughts on Kane, and then we're going to move on to the last sort of 5 minutes of the show and talk about. I know you want to talk about your FIFA rating. Well, not your FIFA ratings, but some Spurs FIFA ratings.
I just gonna go back to 1 second. Where is it? This slide here again for 1 second.
Yeah.
The only concluding thought I have is how I know you can only see the top half of his sort of chest, but how wrong it looks Kane wearing the shirt that he didn't play in at Tottenham. I know that's a really tiny little fact and tiny little point, but it just I saw that and it freaked me out. Other than that, no, not really. If it becomes more substantial and more, you know, concrete, then I will probably have more of an opinion on it. I mean, as I say, right now, I wouldn't turn Kane down because he's Harry Kane. Love him, and I think he offers something great. I think if we were to get rid of Richarlison next season, which I think is a possibility, and if Kolo Muani wasn't to stay on, I would want two in. Him being one, fine, but then I would want a 23-year-old or a 24-year-old that can work and they can play. You know, the three of them, Solanke and those two, a sort of a mix of games. So it would certainly be one I'm up for. But yeah, I'm yet to get too excited because nothing's too concrete as of right now.
Absolutely, mate. Interesting debate though, guys. Most of you would take Harry Kane back. There was a few of you that wouldn't. Just finally on the poll now, you got 81% of you saying yes in a heartbeat, and 19% saying you don't want him back. Like I said, if you are watching offline, you're watching on repeat, let us know what you think of the Harry Kane situation in the comments below. And while you're going down into the comments below, make sure you're hitting that like button. It's super important, guys. There's only 30 likes on this stream. There's like 100 of you watching on YouTube. Please turn on the notification bell while you go down there. Also free to do so, and subscribe if you're new. As I said, we're about 600 away from 5,000 subscribers, which is our next milestone that we're really trying to hit. Actually, we said to each other by the end of September, but it's a steep goal. But we're going to try and do it with your support, guys. If you just hit that subscribe button, I think 80% or 70% of you that watch us aren't even subscribed, which is absolutely nuts. So please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bells. Make sure you hit like. Those three are free to do so. And comment below. But the final point is around, or the final talking point is around, FIFA. Frank, I know you. I don't know how many of you guys play FIFA. I certainly have had better days at FIFA. I think people in the chat that have played me like Joe will know that I am not the FIFA player I once was. And I know this is Spurs related, not gaming related, but I'm sure most of you do play FIFA at some point or another. Thoughts on some of these ratings, mate? So Simmons is the same rating as Maddison, and Kulusevski. Why is he a centre mid, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. That's very odd.
Right. So this is all legit.
Yeah, this is official.
So EA Sports still can't get the positions right on some players,
or anything they do actually. Full stop. This is something that I tend to play the game until about Christmas time, and then I'll give up. As per, but this is something that always rattles me far more than it should because I don't know. There's no reason it should. It is bizarre that, you know, it's obviously the first year that we don't have someone of higher rating because Sonny's not there, Kane's gone. But I mean, Xavi Simmons is probably quite fair. One sec, we'll get on to Kudus in a moment because I think that's going to frustrate people. But yeah, they're probably all right. Still no Mohamed Kudus, bear in mind. On this side, Mickey van der Ven, I imagine, is the quickest centre half on the game. Rightly so. Quite. Sorry,
fair. Is that 90 pace?
I think so. Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Christian Romero gone down by 2. Which is you know, given that he got player of the tournament in the Europa League and man of the match in the final, and seems a bit harsh, but
so Christian Romero's gone down 2 ratings, right? Well, how they work that out then?
I guess because he finished 17th, but then he actually only played about 10 of those games, so seems quite harsh. Got Kudus in at 80, which, you know, again has gone down. I'd like to hope that. Right. Sorry, this is the comment from one of our members. This is why he's a member. He speaks facts. Football manager is the one to buy into. But yeah, I mean they've all basically just gone down because we had an awful season on paper. Brennan Johnson having 70-odd shooting, though, feels harsh as well. Whether we like him or loathe him, that feels very harsh.
To be fair though, with that, and I'm going to back up a Yay there. He doesn't even really shoot. He just taps it in. He has 99 tapping, but 70 shooting.
I mean, fair point.
I mean, when have you ever seen Johnson shoot from outside the area?
Yeah, I mean, you make a very, very fair point.
So I'm not surprised about that one. Bentancur being an 80 seems low. Sarr being a 79 seems low. I mean,
I think it's just the result of finishing 17th, isn't it? That they've just dropped everyone down. Football Managers, where, as the comment said, is where it's going to be. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Football Managers is where it's going to be this year, because we've obviously got a young team that's going to be exciting to sort of play with and grow with this year. So I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, FIFA will not be using those Spurs cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we thought you'd enjoy that. FIFA's interesting one, because all the Spurs channels talk about Tottenham in real life. Interested to know if you guys actually have any interest in FIFA whatsoever. I'd be interested to know. So maybe put a 1 in the chat now if you do like the FIFA content. Well, it's not really content, but if you play FIFA, maybe, and put a 2 if you just have no interest in FIFA. I personally am more towards the 2 nowadays. I just can't get on with it, but I still get the game, but I just don't play as much. How did Romero have 66 passing, says Ghosted? And David said Johnson has so many tap-ins, he should be a plumber. Oh dear. But guys, let us know what you think on those FIFA ratings. Let us know if you play FIFA. And as always, please make sure you do me those 4 massive favors before we do go off the video. So don't all click off now. You got to do us all 4 favors, please, guys. Hit the like button down below. Turn on the notification bell down below, because we're going to be going live or doing a video every single day. Subscribe down below to Spurs Related. Again, all free to do so. There's a lot of freebies tonight. And do me the 4th favor, please, if you could, on YouTube. I'm putting in the comment now. Please go and click on this link. Frank is 15 subs, I believe, or 17 subs. Away from 300 subscribers. I want every single one of you guys in the chat now to click on this link. It's in the chat 7 times. You can't miss it. Please click on that link. Press the subscribe button to Frank's channel. He's doing content every single week to do with tactical analysis, to do with breakdowns, to do with match reviews, everything to do with Spurs. If you like what Frank says on this channel, you'll love his channel over there. Please go and subscribe. It's free to do so. And smash that like button on his latest video as well. That would be greatly appreciated. Archer's saying, I tend to play manager career mode of FIFA for a few seasons until I get bored. And Kulusevski plays centre mid this season, 32 goals and 22 assists in 72 games playing centre mid, suggests that it might be his best position. I'm guessing you mean on your career mode or whatever. And David Clark's just subscribed. Guys, please, all of you, I can't stress it enough, as well as liking the video, as well as subscribing and turning the notification bells on, please subscribe to Frank's channel down below. That would be absolutely brilliant of you. I put it in the chat 7 times, as I said. If you're watching offline, just search for @THFC_Frank25. That would be greatly appreciated. But guys, that is all we have time for tonight. I really have enjoyed discussing Ange Postecoglou, Harry Kane, FIFA cards. It's all gone nuts. Jack, you've missed the whole stream, mate. But I know you're here all the time, so feel free to watch up and catch up. If you want to become a member like Jack is as well, and you can come on the stream and have your say, the membership option is down below in the description, and there's a join button. It's £2 a month. If you want to support, you're absolute legends. But if you can't support financially, we understand it's a big, bad world out there. Just make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're turning on the notification bell. And make sure you're subscribing to this channel and Frank's channel. We will be back again very soon, probably tomorrow, for another live stream. So make sure you stick around. Frank, you've been great, as always. Guys, remember... Come on, you Spurs! Come on England tonight!